Welcome back to the Titanium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with another video. This time I want to talk to you about something I call the multiplicity factor. And when I say the multiplicity factor, I'm talking about what kind of collector are you? Are you the collector that wants multiple different versions of the same character? Or are you the collector that sells off whichever version's on your shelf and goes with the newest, latest, greatest, best one? As you can see, I am the multiplicity factor collector. I want every version. I didn't start out like that, but when I started this earlier this year collecting the mini-bots, started finding that they were super expensive, and when I came across one that wasn't so expensive, I bought it, so I ended up with doubles. But I've also had fillers over the years, like this guy here was my filler for Power Glide, and then I got the x-transbots. Now I have the DX9 version, and so I also have this one. Now, I've done a video on this guy here, but he's cool looking, but he's not truly G1 looking, but he's a bigger representation in my opinion. He's got electronics and stuff. It's kind of cool, misses the mark though, so you really can't call him a masterpiece. Next I want to talk about all of these sea sprays. So this is the eye gear. This one's Fans Toys. This one's Toy World. I think Toy World actually would fit in on my big boy shelf. That's kind of what I call these shelves. I don't like mixing the little mini bots in with the bigger ones. Other people do. But I also like having the multiples and just seeing the differences in the companies and the different engineering and the different looks and the different takes and then the aesthetics of them. And, you know, I kind of had the idea, well, hey, I'll sell off whichever one like goes up in value, whatever, and keep the one I like the most and all that jazz. But the reality of it is I don't want to get rid of any of them. So I'm in that situation. I'm selling off all my doubles. Like if I have like 2 Starscreams, I sell off an extra Starscream. But I keep the different variations. So I have the, like with that one, I have the Walmart version. I've got the one they just released at Toys R Us, the 11 mold, and I've got the Meteor coming. And I think Meteor's going to be awesome. But I mean, that's kind of another example of the multiplicity factor. Now, looking at these guys, like if you look at how different they look, I like having the different variations of them and the different ones. And I'm still missing one of them. I think it's the Toy World Spacer. And I think that's the worst of the 3, but I still want it. But the problem is, even though it's the worst of the 3, it's still not. I haven't got a deal on it. And I'm willing to pay like 40 or 50 bucks for it. There's people still want 70 for it. But you can get like for 48 the clear version. I'm not big on that. That's the other thing is I don't want the clear version or the weird ones. I want the regular representation. I'm not really excited about getting the variations that are different colors and all that. So my multiplicity factor, I want the on-screen perfect representation, but each company's offering, and I go after every one I can get. So now we're kind of getting into some of this area in my multiplicity factor where you have the Springer Wars. And now I've got the 2, I've paid 60 each for these guys. This one is the Open and Play Big Spring, and this is Alan. And I'm going to tell you that I like the Open and Play Big Spring better than Alan. I like the colors of Alan. Alan's head sculpt's a little bit better. I like the leaner look, even though it's less screen accurate. But I like the leaner. I just like the leaner look of this guy here. So the Open and Play Big Spring. Now this thing here truly doesn't feel masterpiece quality 100%, but he's the size and he fills a hole. I'm waiting for x-transbots. X-transbots blood out of the water. And if I can catch Fans Toys cheap enough, I'll get Fans Toys. But I'm not impressed with Fans Toys on that one. I love Fans Toys products, but I think x-transbots has a better sculpt on that figure. Okay, so you got Cup. This is the Fans Toys version. X-transbots coming out with theirs. I don't know if it's going to be better, but I think it's going to be bigger, and I like bigger on my shelf. So there's a Fans Toys version of Galvatron I don't have. I've got DX9s. I'm happy with it. And oddly enough, I'm not going after multiplicity on that one. I think that's just something weird. I just don't want another one. But I think it'd be great to have every iteration of the sweeps of That's Andreas there, Scourge, and this is Ilagos, the Cyclonus. And because they had their Armada and the sweeps and all that, it would make sense to have multiple different ones. And it would make sense to have multiple different ones from different companies, so they look different. And that's when we get into some others that I'll talk about in a minute. There's going to be a Fans Toys Blur, and they call it Jabber. I'm really happy with the Unique Toys version, and I really don't see that Fans Toys is going to beat it other than weight and presentation. So we kind of got into 4 or 5 companies making Troll, this guy here. And the thing is that I went with x-transbots. I mean, I usually pick x-transbots over the rest of them. Next, you're going to have Hound. And my Willis is in the other room. But this guy here is the old... I forgot who even made this guy. He's not great. And everyone's going to be dumping their Willis now with the official coming out. But, I mean, you're out from seeing the official, and I'm not ready to dump my Willis. In fact, with my multiplicity collecting, I probably never will. So when it comes to a character like this, you got grapple, and I do have the grapple, but I went ahead and I'm going with a different, like a third-party grapple. And I think it'd be kind of nice, instead of having two molds, the exact same thing, the same color, it'd be nice to have a different company. And I've really started switching my thinking now. So same thing with the hoist is not gonna be x-transbots hoist, and I actually don't like x-transbots hoist. Lastly, here's a few more examples of multiplicity collecting, but where do you fall? Do you sell them as soon as the new one comes out? Do you sell them before the new one comes out? Like